This is Season 2 of the Books as Bad as Twilight podcast,
where we're reading Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by Jack Thorne.
Visit us at our website, www.babatpodcast.com.
Get lost with us in the magical world of Harry Potter.
Not
Season 2. Reaction?
I am going to record my
reaction. So, Danielle, what are you drinking right now?
Oh, well, I'm drinking Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine, Apple Pie Moonshine. That's what I'm drinking. That you're drinking the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah. I've had this multiple times.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you sly devil. Hey.
This is not going to go well for you.
Oh, I better steal this. Hang on.
So you don't throw it everywhere.
Yeah. Just slap it across the room.
No!
Well, that went badly. All right, so let's try this. Pray for me.
I believe in you.
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
God. Pray for sinners now at the hour of death.
Amen. Ah. Wow. That tastes like medicine. Oh.
Really? You don't get any of the apple pie flavor? Ooh, here comes the warmth.
I can feel it. I barely drank any and I can feel it.
Right?
What?
That's moonshine for you. Actually, this isn't, like, legit moonshine.
Sorry. I'm being dramatic.
I had a North Carolina moonshine the one time.
Yeah.
When I was in Canada.
Oh.
Yeah. I was there for a Model UN.
Oh, yes.
And so it was our world's competition, so we went up there, and these people from, like, what they do, like, they sneak alcohols and, like, foods from their region and bring them to the place, like, across
dogs.
country lines.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a well-known secret, you know? So when they had this big party, and, like, there was chips from here and, like, stuff from there. So people were bringing, like, Yingling from Pennsylvania and, like, they're tequila from Mexico and, like, all this type of places. So this one person from North Carolina, they brought moonshine. And honest to God, it was less than what you just had now. Like, it was a sip of what I had. And it tastes vile. Like,
really?
It tastes like straight up nail polish remover. But my God, was I, like, feeling it the rest of the night. Yeah. I was like, woohoo! Granted, I had more to drink than just that.
Right.
It was interesting.
Have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know there's an episode, I think it's Ron's mom who comes, where she drinks, I don't know if it's moonshine or something.
That's moonshine.
Yeah, and they're just, like, chugging it so you could drink the most. And I watched that and, like, my stomach hurts. I'm like,
and then
no.
Ron comes around and just takes the whole jug.
Yep. That's a great show.
I love that show.
That's one of my favorite shows of all time.
I got his book, Nicholas, whatever his last name is, I don't remember.
Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman, yeah. I have his book. I haven't gotten
Which
a chance
one do
to
you
read
have?
it yet. The lumberjack one, where he's, like, dressed as a lumberjack in front.
Yes. Is that a chapter, or
that's, like, the whole...
Is that his new one?
Maybe.
Because I have
his
first one that's called Paddle Your Own Canoe, and I haven't read it yet.
I'll
show you. It's upstairs. Oh, it's behind. Oh, wait. It was behind you.
It was behind. I don't know where I put my stuff.
Phone. Where are you, phone?
Oh, there it is. On the box where I put my book before.
Oh, wow. I literally looked right at it. I'm like, hello? That's also, remember Beesbo? When I mentioned Beesbo?
Yeah.
In Beesbo, they're trying to teach him how to talk on the phone or make a phone call. And so they're like, okay, so you pick up a phone and then you talk to somebody. So why don't you try Beesbo? So he picks up the whole phone, because keep in mind this is the 80s, 90s. So this whole huge phone, and he goes, hello, phone, puts it to his ear. Hello, phone. What do you want, phone?
Ugh,
it's classic.
80s.
It's pretty awkward and just uncomfortable.
I
but
love
like
campy stuff, though.
So do I. Like Beesbo, that is a treasure.
Oh, Beesbo.
That's another thing we're going to have to watch. Just kidding. That would be totally... not in our wheelhouse, but just for the reaction.
Amusement.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it tonight? Because we're sleeping over.
Hey, you know what? Why not? Oh my gosh, Brittany.
Oh my God, he has a bunch of them.
What?
Nick Offerman has a bunch of books.
He has like 4.
That's awesome. Ready?
What
Could
are
it be
you
like,
doing?
what's the wine? People, starts with an S.
Why? What?
The people who drink wine for a living.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
It's.
I know what you're talking
about. It smells
about,
a little
but
bit like cinnamon still, but you're
that's
fine.
okay. I'll try the rum.
It's not a saison.
Thank you so much.
A
I don't know.
succubus.
Is it?
No, that is very
I was gonna
wrong.
say, I'm like sitting here. I'm like, is it? I don't know.
Succubus.
Isn't that a plant?
Oh yeah, succulents.
Succulents. That's what I'm thinking.
Succubus is a mythical creature that steals like youth from she'll entice men and steal their youth.
Oh, that's cool.
Like a mermaid, basically.
Oh, like a mermaid.
Yeah.
Do you want a cookie?
I want a cookie.
Nice.
All right, what are we doing today, Danielle?
Well,
As you eat our cookies.
we're talking about a bad book, a bad play that is a book. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. You are listening to Books as Bad as Twilight. My name is Danielle.
And I'm Brittany.
We're eating cookies right now.
Uh-huh.
And I was literally like going like this right in the microphone, like with my mouse on.
I really like your posture that you're doing right now.
Hello.
Hand on hip, leaning forward, back straight.
I have to consciously do that
Mm-hmm.
because I slouch.
Yeah.
That's my go-to position.
Slouch.
Mm-hmm. Slouch and kind of going like this because my spine curves.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a lot of times if I'm in the car, I'll like trying to think how I lean.
You slouch with attitude.
Yeah, like
You limp hand that. So funny. Like, eh.
I didn't even think about the hand until you started laughing. I was like, oh yeah, this hand's just here. But yeah. So today we're going to be discussing Act 2, scenes 11 through 20, which is finishing up Act 2 of this play.
Thank God.
Oh boy. We are going to... Okay, so I think we should state outright that we know these episodes have been long. We're going to do our best to contain ourselves, but we're not positive that we can do it.
We're going to try really hard.
Yeah, we are really going to try.
We're on a time crunch today.
Mm-hmm. We got to watch BaBaT. Let's quickly plug our social media.
Ooh, yeah.
We have a Twitter. We have a Facebook. We have a Tumblr. We have an Instagram.
I had to get back on Tumblr.
I've actually
I'm
been
so
using
sorry.
it quite a bit personally,
Yeah,
so
girl,
I need to
shit.
use it more for ours because I haven't used it in years. So it's
Same.
like
It's really hard to get back into it because
I know.
there's such a different culture now.
I know
It's
it
like,
is.
oh no, why do they keep saying breakfast Cucumberland? Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's a joke that is on there now.
All right. So that's our Tumblr talk.
Tumblr, Twitter, we have Gmail,
Yes.
Goodreads.
Goodreads.
You can find it all on our Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, I think you said that.
Yes.
Saying it again.
Yeah.
'Cause that's our most active one, is Instagram.
That's true, actually. Which even then we haven't put... Well, never mind.
Not in a couple days, because we took a break.
Yes, we did take a break.
But you wouldn't know that. 'cause
No,
you're
they
in the
wouldn't
middle.
know. Yeah. That's why it's hard because we record these so far in advance that yeah.
Oh, well, deal with
So
it.
yeah. it's fine. It's fine. So anyway, and of course we want to plug our sponsor real quick, Audible.com. Audible.com is an audiobook website that has over 180,000 titles to choose from. Mm-hmm. And do you need some help there?
Nope. No, keep plugging. I'm
Okay.
taking a picture for when this airs.
Oh, good idea. And today, while you're listening to Books as Bad as Twilight, you can head on over to audibletrial.com/BaBaT, and there you can get a free 30-day trial to Audible, as well as a free audiobook of your choice. And of course, we're going to recommend the Harry Potter books because...
That's
or
what
one
we're
of the Harry
reading.
Potter books. Yeah, and right like Brittany just said, because we're reading a Harry Potter title. Well, we're going to plug all of them, but you can only get one of them with our link. So get at least one and then keep going. Don't stop there. Just get them all. So because they're pretty great.
See.
Si, senora.
Yes.
I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know.
So anyway. So that's our plug for today, audible.com. Again, it's audibletrial.com/BaBaT. And
Cool.
with that, I think we can get into the episode.
Yes.
So we're starting Act 2, Scene 11.
And the one-sentence summary is Hermione Granger and her rightful roar. Oh, I can't say my R's. Okay. Hermione Granger and her rightful role, kind of.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you... Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I have to, like, acquaint myself with what's happening. I apologize.
So, Act 2, Scene 11, we are at Hogwarts, the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom.
Oh, is this where... This is the alternate timeline?
Correct. This is the first one?
Yes, this is the first
one.
Yeah.
I have to try to remember.
Yeah.
We do read these in head.
Yes, we do.
So, this is the first... alternate timeline where they took Cedric's wand in the first task, and now we're going to see the results of that.
Yeah, things really spiraled out of control just by this one little act. Ron and Hermione, I mean, we talked about this kind of last episode, but Ron and Hermione aren't married. Ron is married to Padma Patel. Hermione is a professor.
And single.
That's an important note. Don't forget it. They don't want you to forget it.
She's so bitter.
That's my note here. Hermione is a bitter professor. And Albus was sorted into Gryffindor. I don't think there's anything else major.
We also have to remember that Harry demands from McGonagall that the boys remain separated.
Yeah, that note.
I hate that.
Yeah, that's just uncomfortable. But, yeah, so we get this scene... like you said, in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. And basically, he's he's responding going, Hermione? You're a professor? What is going on? Like, and she's like, oh, he has an attitude, blah, blah, blah. I see you have Patronus charm.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that? I'd be interested.
1 second. Oh, Albus is like, but you're the Minister of Magic. Hermione says, I've been having those dreams again, have you, Potter? Today we're going to be working on the Patronus charm. And I just made a note that that's her worst spell.
Yes, same.
So it's weird that in the regular timeline, she has the most difficulty learning that spell when she's happy, yet here we are in this alternate timeline where she's miserable.
It doesn't, yeah.
And she's teaching them the Patronus charm.
Yeah, it doesn't, which it's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Because to cast a Patronus, you have to have some sort of happy memory to conjure it.
And I'm not saying, like, bitter people don't have happy memories at some point.
Right.
But, like,
what
happened to their relationship between her and Ron after the Triwizard Tournament?
Well, see,
because that's when their relationship begins to develop, and like she really gets into her groove. So, well,
the play actually states it. I don't know if it's in this part, but it basically says that they didn't get together because, and maybe I'll write down. I wrote it down somewhere, but it's like something like Ron, because Hermione like was with the Durmstrang people, she thought that they were doing something fishy because it was Albus and Scorpius she saw in Durmstrang robes. So she thought that it was them working for Crumb, trying to do something that would mess up other champions. So she didn't want to date Crumb. So she never went to the ball with Crumb. And Ron went with Padma, and there was no jealousy. Which is so freaking dumb, because it basically puts their entire relationship on Ron's jealousy.
But Ron only asked the twins out.
Well,
because Hermione wasn't an option anymore.
Right.
So that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So he should have been married to Lavender then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're not wrong. It's this play. We'll see this a lot with this play, as you know. Like, it just kind of takes it's again, we talked about it, bad fan fiction. Yeah. Where would it? Like, it doesn't complexly think about the world and how people react and do things. it just says, well, Ron went to the ball with Padma, so I guess nothing changed between that time and they got married.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even know Padma that well. And
No,
like
they
you said,
literally just asked them out of desperation after he asked Fleur, and, like, she said no. Well, he actually shouted at her.
Yeah. And I want to bring up real quick before we continue.
Yeah.
We had this conversation about, would this play be better if it wasn't a Harry Potter play?
Yes.
And I kind of thought about this off air. And I was thinking, and I thought, I know we kind of came to the conclusion that yes, it would be better, which I still agree with because it wouldn't be held back by Harry Potter itself and, like, just what's already been characterized well. But then I thought about it and I thought, even though I still agree with that, I also disagree that it would be a good play.
Okay.
I don't think it would be held back by Harry Potter, and that would automatically make it better because you could characterize the play better. But there's still, say Ron is a different character, they're still using cheap jokes, making a stupid character, making one-note characters and doing things that I still don't think would make it a good play.
I don't know enough about plays to contradict that statement or to add to it. Yeah. You know, because from what I remember, plays, you have to capitalize on one trait of that individual because you only know them for a short time. So you really have to kind of push the narrative of that individual so that, like, you have the trickster, you have, like, they all play a specific role in a specific emotion.
I mean,
jealousy, the trickster, the love interest, like, that type of stuff.
I mean,
especially when you have so many people in the one play.
I guess, I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I feel, but I don't know if that's accurate.
Well, you're making me think about, like, Shakespeare, actually. Yeah. And, like, think, like you said, the trickster and, you know, these certain character traits. And I think to a certain extent, like, that's definitely on point. Because, like, I'm thinking about Broadway shows that I've seen. And I think to a certain extent, that's why I don't like plays as much. Because they play on these one-note ideas of how a character should look like. And they lack complexity. But then I also push against that because I think I've also seen plays that are completely not like that at all.
Correct. Because I'm thinking of Les Mis, because that's the only play I've seen in person by professionals.
Well, I'll even say, though, Les Mis, I'd say, is not a one-note character play. Yeah.
That's my argument to you.
I see. Yeah.
Like, for you, rather not to you.
I thought you were, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But then I think of, like, when we did our high school senior play, we did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And Charlie Brown, they all have their one note. You know?
Which, okay, but see, sorry, okay, I'm going to try to keep this short, but, like, Charlie Brown, like, that's what makes Charlie Brown so great, because they're all one note, because it's so sarcastic and, like,
and
if you've
also they're children.
Right, exactly. Like, it's...
So they're supposed to have developed backgrounds yet.
Yeah, and that's, like, if you ever watch Charlie Brown cartoons, like, that's what makes it so funny, is that Lucy is, like, the scheming one who's, you know, having, like, Charlie Brown, like, pay money to, you know, be a psychologist or whatever, therapist for him. I don't know. It's just... I don't know. Anyway, we'll get on... But
whoever is very good with plays, let us know whether or not that's a trope in plays, that characters play one, like a single note, and lack of character development, or if it's just this play.
Yeah, definitely let us know, because that would be great to hear. So, and, you know, we can't go on any more tangents, so let's do it.
And so the other part of this scene is that we find out Rose doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
And neither do any of the Weasleys, like, children. So they push that point, because Hermione gets upset and takes 50 points from Gryffindor.
Yes, she does. Oh, goodness. Hermione is just... It's like, oh, like, I'm single, I'm a bitch. Like, it's just... okay, I'll just say it's one note. It's annoying. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't understand this. The last two sentences of her little monologue. She's talking about the Patronus charm. And at the end, she says, if you can conjure a Patronus, You can protect yourself against the world, which, in some of our cases, seems like a necessity,
yeah.
a necessity sooner rather than later. That just seems out of place.
It does seem out of place.
I think it was an attempt at foreshadowing.
Yeah. I get, but then, like, why would Hermione say that?
Yeah, because she's not a part of the future.
But can I just say, it's interesting that you just brought that up, because not in this episode, but in maybe a few episodes' time, there is a scene in Act 3. I forget who the character is, but I won't say because that would be a spoiler for anybody who hasn't read past this point, but one of the characters says something that's, like, so fourth wall that I'm like, how would
it made you uncomfortable? Yeah.
Yeah, and this, I didn't think about that when I first read it with this scene, but yeah, why would she say that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems weird because at this point in time, there's still no Voldemort. You know,
right, yeah.
The world is still at peace, so it's out of place.
Yeah, it is. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Act 2, Scene 12.
Albus Potter and the Unspoken Words.
Ooh.
I forget why I wrote that. I'll have to...
Me too.
So we are at Hogwarts. Oh, this is why. We are the staircase in Hogwarts, and there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
That's why there's unspoken words.
Yeah, all stage direction. The entire thing.
Direction. So what's going on? He's walking up the stairs, looking around as he does. He doesn't see anything. He exits. The staircase moves as if it were in a dance, and Scorpius enters behind him. And so it's basically a missed connections post on Craigslist. Like they keep walking by each other. They like looking lost and hopeful all at once, and they walk away. The moment is broken, and with it the possibility of their friendship. And Madam Hooch steps in. I don't know why.
Madam Hooch.
So it's all just the staircase. This would look really cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm just imagining the staircases moving around and then them going up to, like, I'm just imagining it'd be fun backstage.
Yeah.
Because you're up at the top and then you just drop down a chute and now you're at the bottom running.
Right.
And, like, I think that would be fun.
I think this is one of those scenes where it would actually work really well.
Yeah.
But the stage direction does not convey too much for us as a reader.
Yeah.
Like, it can tell us we can only gain so much from this. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's all acting.
Right.
Yeah, it's just adding to the tension, the fact that they always seem to be just a little bit ahead or behind and they can't really talk.
Which is, like, such a tropey thing to do. Like, if you think about... And it's such a romantic thing to do.
It is.
Oh.
That is a good point.
What was that? What was the term you...
Misconnections on Craigslist?
No. Last episode. Homo watch. Is that it?
I think I said homo watch. Yeah.
Homo watch, yeah. Which we don't mean offensively.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, there's just a lot of tension, romantic tension.
Yeah, there's a lot of romantic
So
tension.
that's one of them. But anyway, like, if this was between a guy and a girl, don't tell me that people wouldn't be reading into that and being like, oh, they love each other. So
And, like, be rooting for them. It's like,
Right.
oh, come on, just meet at the top of the staircase.
Yeah. And kiss. Express your love.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like Romeo and Juliet. Their father made them their opposing houses. God. That's, I mean, look.
Homo watch.
Yeah, homo.
I can't say that. Homo watch.
Homo watch.
Homo watch.
Homo watch.
Homo watch.
Homo watch. Yeah. So, anyway, Act 2, Scene 13.
That is...
We're in Harry and Ginny Potter's house, the kitchen.
Harry Potter, and how big is this kitchen? So,
Yeah.
Yes, we're in the Potter's house in the kitchen, and they are discussing exactly what Harry had said to McGonagall. Basically demanding from McGonagall, which is so weird, that she keep the boys separated.
Mm-hmm.
And he is basically doubling down on that statement when Draco appears.
Right.
Yeah, do you wanna...
Here's my note.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my note. I mean, we've talked about this before, so I won't dwell on it too much, but, like, with the whole time travel thing, I hate, and this is actually one of my issues I have with, like, stuff like Back to the Future, where how only the convenient things change after you mess with time that are plot conveniences.
Yeah.
So, like, of course, Harry and Ginny both still have the same motivations that they did in the last timeline, even though, and of course, like, Scorpius and Albus are still friends, even though their houses, or Albus's house is different, and Hermione and Ron didn't get married. Like, these things that just exist to shock us, but don't do much for the plot.
Yeah. Because, like, Hermione's character, like, completely changed. So did Ron. He became such a submissive.
Right, exactly.
Like, it doesn't make any sense that nothing else has changed.
Yeah, and that's just something I wanted to note, and maybe I won't even say it again because it does happen a lot throughout the whole thing.
And I'm just going to push this really quick. That's why you can't be fucking seen in these worlds and these timelines, because it's supposed to have such a huge impact on the future, but there is no huge impact on these futures. Okay,
right,
done.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, we'll just stop it there. I think that's enough. But anyway.
So Draco comes in, and he's like, I don't want to antagonize you. I just want to talk to you about my son. He's in tears, and I'm his father, and I am here to ask you why you would keep two good friends apart. Here is a concerned father.
Right.
You go, Draco. And Harry's like, I had to protect my son.
Harry's a dick.
They told me in the stars.
Oh, yeah,
this is what's going to happen.
God, Harry.
And so they start fighting.
Yes, they start fighting, which it's kind of funny because they fight for quite a little bit of time, and it seems like it's kind of loud. And Ginny comes in, and she's like they messed up her kitchen. I'm like, wait, you just came in? You just realized they were fighting?
I thought she was there.
No, because she apparently walks away.
Oh, yeah, she exits. Saved by the door. And she leaves, and then Draco walks in.
Yeah, and she says, I only left this room 3 minutes ago. And it's like, wow, like, you took a long time to get back here, girl.
Yeah.
You didn't hear this? And Harry outright says to Draco, and I don't know if this is what spurs the fight, but he says something about, like, maybe Scorpius is Voldemort's child.
Yeah, like why?
Yeah, that's so messed up. Who's the bully now?
It's definitely Harry.
And I don't think the play wants us to think that. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think the play does have Harry, the audience, know that Harry is misguided, but he's still our hero. And he's still the one that we're rooting for. But I don't think he's much of a hero right now.
I never liked Harry. He's
Really?
always been one of my least favorite characters.
That's interesting.
Like, he's just so whiny.
I've never... I do like Harry. I agree with you. He's very whiny. He's very self-involved. Something that I didn't pick up on until much later readings, to be honest. I don't dislike him. In this, I really dislike him. Yeah. But honestly, I think he's a boring character, I think. He's a very flat character. And in this, he's
literally
more...
two-dimensional.
Yeah, it's awful.
So, yeah. And she's like, what did I miss? Drier than dry. This is why I love this Ginny.
Me too.
Because this is the Ginny I've craved for.
Yes, I agree.
So,
yeah.
And that's it. So there's a big fight. We learn spells. It will be interesting to see, because in a play format, well, actually in the play, not in the format, because they are using spells that we don't know.
Oh, right.
And it'd be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
So I think that would be cool.
Actually, yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yes.
That would be cool to see.
Yeah. So they were throwing each other back and forth in this kitchen. That's why the note is that it must be a huge kitchen.
I guess so. It must be huge.
Yep. Like my dick. So Act 2, Scene 14.
No, like Harry, because he's a huge dick. Oh, wow.
So bad.
Look, this is why I didn't go into comedy, okay? Look, I made you laugh, right?
You did.
There you go.
There you go.
I hope I made you laugh, listeners. Probably the listeners are like, yeah, turning this off now.
No, I laugh.
Who knows? Anyway.
So Act 2, Scene 14.
The Hogwarts staircases.
Ginny Potter and only 3 characters? The only 3 character. What? Nope, that is the wrong scene. Scorpius Malfoy, the boy who is needed.
Oh.
Aww.
Scorpius. I love Scorpius. I was reading the 1-star reviews on Goodreads, and it just seems to be a general consensus that everybody loves Scorpius.
I love Scorpius.
Me too. It's great.
Oh, true character. I can't read my own handwriting. But anyways, yeah. So Scorpius Malfoy, the boy who is needed. So we're on the staircase again with Scorpius and Delphi this time.
Yeah.
And basically, okay, first of all, I don't know how Delphi got there.
No, yeah.
Into not only onto the grounds, but into the castle.
Which I guess is supposed to be part of the plot. Ooh. Yeah. Like,
she's so strong.
Oh, man. And she gets meta here on the first page. She says, pretty lax security here, isn't there? And it just makes you think of, like, Philosopher's Stone, where they, like, get past all the enchantments and stuff at the age of 11, which is pretty good security. But I don't know, there's always been this conversation around Harry Potter about the security. Yeah. And so it's just kind of weird that she said that to me. It just feels like kind of fourth wall-y once again. Yeah. Like, where she's commenting on it for just... I get why.
I think it was just said because we want this transaction between the two.
Right, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And then she's talking about, I'm endangering our entire operation, which is not... In fact, technically, I'm endangering our entire operation, which is not... Well, I'm not a natural risk taker, as you know. And then I, like, highlighted that and said, but you do all of this with great enthusiasm. Like, you love this. Like, you're not a natural risk taker, but you're the one encouraging these children to do it. You're the one breaking into Hogwarts. Right. You're the one, like... she's... No.
No, Delphi, no.
Delphi, I'm calling you out on your bullshit.
Please do, because I do not like Delphi.
Called you out.
This is interesting because she tells Scorpius that she didn't go to Hogwarts as a kid. She says she was unwell as a child and doesn't really go into any detail, which is, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, how does she learn all this shit?
Right, like...
Because she's pretty, like, knowledgeable.
Yeah.
She's training them in, like, Expelliarmus, which... still doesn't make much sense, but like all those like little things, and she's helping them come up with these ideas, and she knows what a time turner is and knows how to use it, right? And she teaches them how to use it,
right?
So weird.
Yeah, just a little. I mean, we can assume, it's safe to assume that maybe she was homeschooled, but like still the knowledge that she has is,
it's not just normal home magic,
right? It's a very skilled type of magic that you would think would take, I don't know, somebody who actually went to school would know. Like, maybe she was self-taught. I don't know. We don't know. So I guess why even talk about it? But still, it's just something she commented on. But even that, like, when I first read this, I was like, red flag. Like, whatever.
And then she tells Scorpius that you should really make up with Albus because in all of his letters, I can feel your absence. He's destroyed by it.
Homo watch.
And then Scorpius, all pouty, is like, sounds like he found a shoulder to cry on. How many did he send you?
Yes.
Like,
he's jealous.
Oh, come on, Scorpius.
Yeah, get a grip, man.
And then they talk about having imaginary friends.
Yeah, it's mushy.
It's mushy.
Empty sentiments about friendship from Delphi.
I lolled about Scorpius, how he lost his best friend called Flurry.
Oh, yeah.
We fell out over the correct rules of Gobstone.
He is so cool.
Funny.
Yes.
That's really funny.
I love Scorpius. He's too good for this play.
He really is. Like, he is a well-developed character in this. He's what I wish Harry was.
Yeah, I was going to say, he definitely has the sass, a little bit more like of a drier, a nerdier sense
definitely
of humor.
Nerdier.
Which I love.
He should be in Ravenclaw, not in Slytherin.
Definitely.
Not that all Ravenclaws are nerds, guys. Calm down.
But, we're just talking about the sorting system. Don't get mad at us. Get mad at Rowling, okay?
I'm a Gryffindor. Leave me alone.
And I'm a Hufflepuff.
Huffle what?
Hufflepuff. I love that. We just kind of did that together.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. Up top. Yeah. I love how I can raise you
under the microphone.
It's too bad this isn't a visual medium because that would have been funny. It still is pretty funny.
You couldn't, like, move the book to your other hand.
Look, Brittany, I can only do so much at one time.
I love you, Danielle.
Oh. I love you too. Oh my God. Wait, no! My bookmark fell out, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was more dramatic than it needed to be.
It was very confusing because
like
you, like, held your breast for a second.
Oh, did I? Did I go like this?
Yeah. When you were thanking me for loving you.
Well, I was putting my hand on my heart, but I guess if I went like this... It's like, this is getting awkward.
That's really funny.
It's like, I think I'm going to leave now, so.
Goodbye.
See you later. Anyway.
So that's all I got to say for this scene. What about you, Danny?
I think
Danielle.
that's it. Danielle. Oh. No, I don't have anything else. Yeah. I'm trying to look at my notes. Yeah. No, that's it. Let's move on to Act 2. Oh, wait a minute. Are we getting the rum out?
I'm getting the rum out.
Oh, let's do this.
We are drinking also Malibu Mango Caribbean rum with Deer Park sparkling lemon water.
So excited.
Did you hear that?
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's good sound effects.
That's good. Thank you.
If you don't like it, you can always just pour it back into the bottle.
So true. So true.
I definitely suggest you mix it with the...
Oh, okay. I'll wait then.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man. This is exciting.
All right. So Act 2, Scene 15. Harry and Ginny Potter's house in the kitchen. Again.
Yes.
Ginny Weasley is the only true character, not only 3 character, which makes no sense. I can't read my own handwriting.
That's funny. All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Gonna dilute that rum for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's try this. Okay.
I don't know what it's gonna taste like. I never combined these two things before.
Like trying to get the experience here on the microphone.
Definitely tropical.
Yeah, definitely tropical.
Definitely needs more rum.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing in the world. Okay. Look, if you didn't pick up, listeners, I'm not much of an alcohol person.
I am an alcoholic.
It's funny because like I still have the not the Malibu Baberies, the Arbor Mist that you bought last week.
Oh yeah.
And I was drinking it the other night. My mom's like, "You're drinking more of that?" I'm like, yeah, like what's wrong with that?
Literally 3%.
And she's like, "You're a wino," and I'm like, "All right, come on, you got to stop. I'm not a wino. Like, I'm so far from that. It's insane."
I killed 2 bottles of wine myself. Like, you're fine.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be okay. But thank you for the concern.
I'm also 100 pounds heavier than you are, so
I know. I don't think so.
At least 50.
I don't know about that.
We'll discuss it later.
Yeah.
So now we're in the kitchen. Ginny is snarky.
Oh,
as she should be. But, like, what gets me so upset is that the female characters in this play have no lines.
No, yeah.
Like, you have this whole scene, and Ginny has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 5 lines, all separated. And Draco has these really long, like, small little monologues. Not really long, small. But you know what I mean. Like, a good chunk of things that he's saying. And basically what they are doing is calling Harry out on how he had all these friends. And Ginny didn't, and neither did Draco. Which is weird. Like, I think this is a weird conversation. Not that they didn't have friends, but they're envious of the trio.
I was going to say,
Golden Trio.
Right, because I think the friendship that Harry, Ron, and Hermione had was very unique. Most people, in my experience, I find that you can have good friends. It's rare that you keep them so long. And if you do, that's great. But in my experience, like, I haven't kept friendships from when I was younger. At least not that close. Yeah. Still friends with people, but not as close as we used to be. So I guess I could see, especially with Draco, I could see that because Crabbe and Goyle, let's be honest, they were never his friends. They were his lackeys.
Goons, yeah. And plus one of them dies. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
Is it Crabbe or Goyle? I think it was Crabbe.
Yeah, it's Crabbe.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's Goyle because the actor who played Crab.
Didn't he get into drugs or something?
Yeah, so he wasn't in it.
He was replaced by Blaze.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But, you know, you just made me think of something. And this isn't like the end-all, be-all for judging something.
Mm-hmm.
But when you said that, like, Ginny and just females in general don't have much lines in this, it made me think of the Bechdel test.
Yes.
I don't think this would pass. Because I'm trying to, I mean...
Yeah, it does.
Would it pass?
Yeah, so far it does. Because they're not talking about... Well, they're talking about boys, but
Well,
they're not...
two women have to talk to each other and not about a man.
Oh.
Well, that would be something we'd have to talk about later.
Would it... Like, yes, but it's their children. Does that count as men? Because it's not in a relationship status. Because it has to be in a romantic sense.
Yeah.
I believe.
So, that's a good...
We'll have
I guess,
to see.
yeah, we'd have to look into that.
Yeah.
I would imagine that wouldn't count just because, like you said,
Yeah, because it's their children.
Right.
That's something completely different.
Right.
Because they're not talking about, like, oh, Ron doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I was going to say, even if it is their children, I think the only, like, step around that would be, like, the fact that the child himself is a character that we are supposed to care about. I don't know. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But anyway.
And then they bring up the point. Well, this is mainly from Draco.
Yeah.
He's helping Harry come to the realization that how he is treating Albus is wrong.
Yeah.
He brought up saying, "My father thought he was protecting me most of the time. I think you have to make a choice at a certain point of the man you want to be. And I tell you that at that time, you need to be a parent or a friend." Which, like, Harry was never trying to be his friend.
Right.
So that's a little weird.
Yeah.
And if you've learned to hate your parent by then, and you have no friends, then you're all alone. Which, seems a little weird.
Yeah.
So basically, then they bring up the point that Tom Riddle was a lonely child. He didn't have any friends, and he didn't have a parent figure that was strong and, like, there for them. And it brings up all these, like, issues.
That's the thing. It's not wrong that he was a lonely child, Tom Riddle.
Yeah.
But the important thing to realize is that Tom Riddle did have figures in his life. He rejected those. Dumbledore did try to reach out to him. He did things in his best interest. Mm-hmm. Tom Riddle rebelled against those things.
It's correlation, not causation.
Right, exactly.
That's what that is.
Yeah. And so this book or play just seems to think like, oh, well, you know, he could end up like Voldemort because you're making him a lonely child.
No.
That's not the same.
Voldemort ended up as Voldemort because his mother hated the fact that he looked like his father, who was a muggle and ran away when he came out from his spell under the love potion, broke his mother's heart. His mother was a recluse, forcing him to be a recluse, hating on him. He has these special powers, doesn't understand them all. Dumbledore, he goes to an orphanage. No one likes him, because he's weird and he has magic and he doesn't understand. So his coping mechanism was to steal and go to the dark side and to learn and develop these powers on his own. So yes, he's going to think he's smarter than everyone else because he goes to Hogwarts and he's more advanced than everyone else.
Right. And keep in mind, too, that there are some shifty things. It's not just stealing that he does. He takes some kids to that cave.
Yep.
God knows what he does to them.
Yeah.
And if you're calling Tom Riddle a lonely child, I think you're missing the other things about him that made him.
There's so much more. And that's like when people talk, and I don't want this to turn into a tangent.
Yeah.
But that's when you talk about like school shooters or kids that commit suicide or those who are bullies and are bullied. Like there's this, I don't know if you heard of the when they're doing the walkout campaign. There's also the Walk Up campaign that was a counter protest to it. So the Walk Out campaign was after the school shooting, all the kids were walking out at that specific time for 13 minutes, so that they could honor the kids that were shot in Florida,
Right.
or wherever it was. Well, then all these people were like, well, why don't you just walk up to the disenfranchised child? Why don't you just walk up to them and speak to them, invite them to your table at lunch?
Right.
You can agree to that to a point.
Yeah, that's...
To a point, because like if there is a kid, and like, not saying you have to bully them or ostracize them, but you know, like, you get feelings off of people, and like, people develop patterns, and you watch those patterns, and you see when someone's a bit off. And I'm not talking about developmentally or like mentally.
Yeah.
You can tell when somebody's, not always, but you can tell when somebody's a little off.
Yeah.
And if they make you uncomfortable, especially a lot of times those people are bullies themselves.
Right.
Like, if they make you uncomfortable, no, I'm not going to invite you to my lunch table.
Exactly.
If you're going to pick on me the entire time,
yes.
no.
That is such a good... There's a book by Jodi Picoult called 19 Minutes. I haven't read it in a very long time, but it's about a school shooting. And the school shooter himself was friends with this other character when they were growing up. And she kind of stops hanging out with him. And what the book kind of is wrestling with is this idea, like, what could have caused this? And the truth is that there is no one cause, and there's really not much that you can do. I mean, you can't change the past. I mean, you don't, even like if you look at Columbine, the one kid, he was a normal kid by all accounts. Yeah. Like, so there's just no correlation. Like you said, walk up. You want to help people, but you also have to help. This might sound wrong, but help yourself. Like, if somebody's being a bully, like you said,
you can't.
You
have to preserve yourself.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, there's. I don't know.
This is turning into a tangent, but it's both nature and nurture.
Yeah, they work together.
There's not a specific causation of, like, becoming a dark person, becoming quote an evil person, and I don't think people are evil.
No,
like, there's no such thing as evil. Yeah. This is a fictional book. Of course there's going to be evil. But, excuse me. But it just...
Well, actually what you said is very telling, though, about how this is a book and it has actual evil. I think that is something where the Harry Potter books sort of miss the mark sometimes, is how... I love the Half-Blood Prince and how they look at Tom Riddle's, certain things that happen to him in his life. But it sort of implies that everything that happens to a person will lead, if you look at the clues, it will lead to a certain end. Yeah. And that's not how things work. And
if you take Snape,
who
had basically the same growing up as Voldemort, he was picked on, bullied, he had magic, and he came from a half-blood family.
Right. And he had parents, but
Well, he had one that was a Muggle, one that was a pureblood. Right. He befriended Lily, and Lily left him because he became a bully.
That's a great example.
He became a bully, and so she preserved herself.
That's a great example.
And he became a huge dick later on, but her being his friend did not stop him from being who he was.
Yeah. That's a really good
if we're using literary characters to explain our point, it's Snape.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So
obviously we'll probably just stop it there, but it is an interesting conversation, though. And I don't like this line.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, it's implying something that just doesn't make sense, and it's problematic, and it's bad.
So at the end of the scene, Harry is coming to the realization that he was wrong to keep them separated, which is really quick in development of the story, but it's a play. Right. So I'll forgive that.
Yeah.
So Ginny at the end says, Harry, will you get the flu powder or shall I? Mm-hmm. And he looks up to his wife. End scene. So they're going back to Hogwarts again.
Oh my God.
So in the 7 books of the original story, how often have parents come to Hogwarts?
Not that much.
Never.
Usually at the end, like, if
literally never, unless it's the end of the season.
I was gonna say, if it's something like okay, so when Ginny was rescued from the chamber,
yes,
her parents came. The Triwizard Tournament at the end, parents, the Weasleys, came to support Harry. Ginny and Harry just seem like very problematic parents who are just like, what's that type of parenting? Helicopter, yeah. Where they just have to be with their child 24/7. And I guess the argument could be made, this is like the wizarding world that's at stake because Harry's having these dreams and a black cloud is over Albus and Voldemort's whispering in his ear, but
it's not.
It's not. It's just not.
There's no evidence to that. Except he's having these dreams, yes, but that's correlation, not causation. And that's...
As Albus Dumbledore said, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Harry.
Yeah, Harry.
Shape up, man. Come on now.
And I also hate the Dumbledore representation in this one.
I
don't have Dumbledore. Okay.
Yeah.
Act 2, scene 16.
Oh,
where is my goddamn one sentence? Ooh, this is a long scene.
Yeah, usually they're not this long.
Yeah,
this
usually they're like two pages. Albus Potter, the overly confident 14-year-old. Mind you, these are 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Scorpius is in the library, and then Albus is in the library, and they see each other.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
McGonagall, where are you?
Oh, I love this. This is probably actually one of my favorite scenes.
Because it's actual McGonagall. This is true to her character.
And I would say that for most of the play, if I haven't finished it, so I kind of forget, but I think McGonagall stays pretty consistent and pretty badass. Would you say?
Halfway.
Okay.
I would say it's a halfway point.
Okay.
Because from this forward, she found her voice, but it's still not a confident voice.
At first, when I read this scene, and she was like, "Oh, I thought I heard them, but I guess they're not here." And then I wrote down, "Are you freaking kidding me? Does she not think of an invisibility cloak?"
Oh,
and
no,
then
she definitely knew.
So I was like, "Okay,
about
phew."
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
The rage about it.
The rage.
So they.
You okay there?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I coughed. So this brings up about the whole Drumstang thing.
Yeah.
About how Hermione doesn't go out with Krum because she thinks that he was playing dirty, and now they don't get together. Rose was never born, and it's the whole thing. I don't like this whole idea of fate, like this one little thing, even though these people feel stuff for each other, that Ron, he never liked Padma. He only asked her to the Yule Ball purely out of convenience sake. And like you said, he could have asked Hermione because she would have been available. But, hey. And Hermione would be more inclined to say yes because she doesn't like Krum right now.
Exactly. And that would actually be really great for their... In fact, I think it would be a more stable relationship than what ends up coming from that.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So they agree to go back in time, not stop themselves from performing the first task, and then just fuck up the second task, and everything would be good because Rose would be back and Cedric would still be alive. So that's their new plan.
Yeah, that's their new plan, and okay. And then this is when McGonagall comes in?
No, they're still talking. Can you imagine what it's like? Have you ever tried? No. Hold on, what is this?
Oh,
Scorpius is like, people look at me because they think my dad is Voldemort.
Right.
And then Albus is like, oh, don't, stop, shush. He's like, no, have you ever even tried to imagine that?
You tell him, Scorpius.
Yeah, you tell him, Scorpius. Because you can't see beyond the end of your stupid thing with your dad. Fuck yeah, Scorpius.
Yeah.
Gone. He will always be Harry Potter. You know that, right? And you will always be his son. And I know it's hard. And the other kids are awful. But you have to learn to be okay with that. Because there are worse things.
Right.
He's dropping some real shit right now.
He is.
He is being crucified for being Voldemort's son. And all Albus has to deal with is the fact that his dad's a hero.
Right, exactly. it's just, yeah, it's just
Like, shut up, Albus.
it's a character. Yeah, shut up, Albus. Such yeah, like because it's such like a petty thing. I understand like everybody has their own experiences and their own struggles, but like, come on, like. This is why Scorpius. Oh, I would love a book series with him as the main character.
Yes. And look, this second line, I completely forgot about that.
What?
Maybe my mom wasn't dead. We forget that Scorpius' mom is dead.
I know.
His mom is dead. He's being treated by the spawn of Satan, essentially. And, like, his dad is a little distant. Like, he's still active, but still distant because he never learned from his father.
Right.
He's getting picked on constantly, and he is the best friend of Albus Severus, who he can no longer hang out with because his fucking dad, and they're in different houses because he had to go on this stupid adventure to change time.
Oh,
and he only
Albus.
agreed to do it because his best friend wanted to do it.
Right, exactly.
God damn it, Albus. You're the cause of this.
Albus is the real villain.
He is. I hate this.
Me too. And like this is one detail when they have the invisibility cloak after that, Albus is like how he stole the invisibility cloak from James. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, even if you did this, wouldn't James wonder where it was?
Yes. He'd be using it all the time.
Yeah.
James is a little dick.
Because this play is so focused, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a good thing in terms of the subject matter. It's so focused on Albus that it doesn't take into account the outside factors that would be affecting him. And it doesn't do that because it doesn't have to. It doesn't want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I agree. And we learn that James is a little turd.
Yeah.
Because in the very first scene when they're going on to the Hogwarts Express, that, like, he's tricking Albus into all this stuff. So he's taking, like, strong Weasley traits. And strong Potter traits, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because,
well, James Potter.
James
yeah.
Potter was a dick, too.
Mm-hmm. He was, yeah.
The first. James Potter,
yeah.
the first. And so he would notice if his invisibility cloak was missing.
Totally.
And he'd rage. I imagine him raging.
Oh, he so would.
Go on.
And let's see. Albus talks about on page 143. Let me see if I can find it.
My dad said you're a black cloud around me. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's after that. Let me see. It's something where he said these are like the best days. What did I write down? I said all Albus. These are the best moments with our new characters, not the old. Oh, okay. So I think what I wrote down for this, what I wrote down is this conversation between Albus and Scorpius. I think is a very enlightening one and a very good one. And this is like at this point in the play when I was reading, this was my favorite part, and it was between two new characters. And it wasn't them doing this crazy time travel stuff. It was them just reconciling with one another.
Yeah.
That is what I love. And I guess not everybody likes just calm conversations like that. They want the action.
Yeah.
Action's fine, but like this is what I love. Like this honest conversation between these two friends. I really liked that.
It is. I like it a lot, but I also found it very homoerotic.
Oh, yeah. What did I write? Queer baiting.
Queer baiting. Yeah.
Homo watch.
And it's not that men can't have these conversations with one another, but it seems very it's a very intimate conversation.
Well, and also again, if it was a man and a woman, what would we think?
Yeah.
And I guess we should just talk about it briefly if that's okay.
Sure.
So there's a video game that I play that I really like called that I mentioned to you earlier called Kingdom Hearts. And in that game, in the second game, who's ever played it will know this scene because it's just it's really good. It's basically this character, he's been looking for his two friends for the first game and now the second game. And the one friend is a girl, the one friend is a guy. And the girl, it's always insinuated that they're a couple, that they really like each other. And he finds her and he just like she hugs him and he just kind of doesn't react. But then he finds the guy friend when he realizes it's him, and he falls to his knees and he starts crying, and he's like Riku, like it's my friend Riku, and he's like tears, and he's like, I looked everywhere for you, and it's insane. Like I'm like,
hey,
oh
cool,
my...
hey bitch, what's up?
I mean, really, like he doesn't even hug the girl. She hugs him. She runs to him, and he's like, oh oh, but then with Riku, he's like, oh my God. And everybody's like, oh, they're so gay for each other. But this writer, Alexa Ray Correa, she wrote a book on the game. And she
Alexa,
said,
stop listening.
Oh. Hey. Sorry, the M is on echo. And she basically said that, okay, I guess it's good, to see these relationships on screen, but it's also important to recognize that, like, men are constantly taught not to feel these emotions and share these things between one another. And that it's okay for you to look at this scene and say, oh, they're totally gay for each other and they're a couple. But it's also
recognize that they do have those relationships.
Yeah, and I guess people say that because, like, just the way he reacted was so strong to his male friend. But it's also a healthy dynamic that could exist.
Yeah.
But
also thinking, hold on, before you finish that.
Okay.
Also, it's the same way as you see when men react to finding their lost dog.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Like, they become very overwhelmed when they find their lost pet. But go on with your butt.
Well, I was going to say that the difference between that and then this scene that I just talked about versus this play is that if two friends find each other and they're reunited and one cries that they're so happy, I don't think that's necessarily romantic.
No.
I think that's...
I agree.
Yeah, and same with, like, I mean, obviously it's a dog, but, like, that feeling that your best friend, like, that your pet has returned. I'm thinking of Homeward Bound right now. I love that movie.
I'm thinking of all the YouTube videos I watch when like,
Is
army men come home.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
Stop.
That will make me cry.
Yeah, always. That. Army men and women coming home to their dog, and the dog fucking flips. Done. I'm done. God.
We'll have to put some of those in the show notes because they're just...
I feel so... Like, when my brother used to come home from his long excursions, from his trips, from his military trips, like, we had a dog at the time. His name was Miko. And, like, he would be... Like, he was a very, like, mild-mannered dog. And, like, he would just, like, slowly creep to Brandon. And then he'd be like, ah!
Aww.
I was like, oh, stop.
That's precious. And I love animals so much.
Oh, I miss Penny now.
Aww.
Penny's my doggy.
Yes, she is. But, yeah, so... I hope people, like, maybe are listening to this and think, oh, stop reading into it. But, like, it's important to recognize that this does exist, like, this idea of queer baiting.
I rather, like, it does exist. I agree with you. I'd rather them actually have a real relationship between one another than mixing the Delphi part of it in.
I agree. Well, yeah. And I guess we'll get to that when we get to the end of the play, but I agree.
Yeah. I'd much rather them just have a straight... Or maybe bi. Just like, yes, they're in love with each other. Then, like, kind of, like, tiptoe around it, you know?
Well, I think also, this whole idea, like, with J.K. Rowling, you know, having Dumbledore as a gay character, but never once giving us any reason to believe so until she told us. And it was like, oh, well, I guess we can read into the Grindelwald stuff that he was gay. But there's really no textual evidence for the fact that Dumbledore is gay.
Well, I read a post about why should there be textual evidence? And, like...
Because then it's about... Yeah.
But straight people and gay people act the same.
Correct. But if there's a romance, if she feels the need to say it, and we're supposed to pat her on the back for having a gay character, but she's not giving us evidence, then that's a problem, I think.
I don't get me wrong. I agree with you that, right. Like, I don't think there was a purpose of saying it.
Right.
Like, I think having an ambiguous character like that is so that people can read and find the clues themselves.
I don't think there are clues, though.
But I do.
I do now.
Yeah, but
because I know.
That's what I'm saying. If you have an ambiguous character, if one person read that and be like, oh my god, yeah, Dumbledore is totally gay, and another people reading it's like, oh my god, yeah, he's totally straight. You know, like that's the purpose of an ambiguous character is that they can go either way.
Yeah, but I don't think
so. The reader can interpret it how they want because writing is not for the author. Right, it will never be for the author.
Right.
It's for the reader.
Correct.
So if a reader read Dumbledore as straight or gay, then that's their prerogative.
Correct.
I agree with you in saying that I would have preferred someone keeping it ambiguous so everyone could have their own preference to it.
Yeah.
You know, not I shouldn't say preference, but their own interpretation of it. You know what I mean? Because that's the purpose of reading, is that you could put your own personal relationships and interpretations into the book so you can make it more relatable.
I agree with you completely if J.K. Rowling had said nothing.
Yeah, if she had said nothing.
Yeah. Because then, and not only that, but because I think why say anything at all? If it didn't matter to the story. What?
Kevin sent me a picture of Kevin.
Perfect timing. She looks hilarious. She looks sad. She looks like, oh, I have to be in here again. She's in her cage.
She goes in her cage voluntarily.
Yeah, right.
In her crate.
So, crate, yeah.
Oh, no.
She says, I miss you, Mom. Aw.
But anyways.
The only thing I was going to say is, like, it could remain ambiguous. I don't think it mattered to the text at all. I don't think it was anything we ever questioned, so it didn't matter. But I think the fact that she said it, now it does matter. She made it matter. Because
now people are creating these relationships between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, and Dumbledore and Harry, and Dumbledore and Snape, and Dumbledore and... Yeah.
Which actually, like, now that I know, like, it's a shame to me that the Dumbledore-Grindelwald stuff had to have been... for the story, it just couldn't have been included.
Yeah.
But then again, it could have. They could have had some kind of romantic thing just subtly more hinted at, because I don't think in the book, like you said, is so ambiguous. It not for a second would I have ever picked up on it.
Oh, I didn't.
And I was going to say also, it wouldn't matter so much if J.K. Rowling at this point was like, oh, well, in the new movies featuring Dumbledore, I'll do something about that. But she's not.
Oh, really?
No, she's not.
In the Fantastic Beasts, they're not even going to allude to it at all.
No. Well,
That's
maybe they'll...
stupid.
I don't know. The movie's not out. I don't plan to see it, so you'll have to tell me. But from what I understand, she's been interviewed, and she said that, like, they're like, oh, wow, this is a great opportunity to... I can't speak. Opportunity to explore his character and him being gay. Yeah. And no. She said outright no. That will not be happening.
Then that's stupid.
So, like...
You can't be like, he's gay, but we're not going to do anything to promote those.
That's why she's a fraud.
Yeah, that's dickish.
Yeah,
it really is. It's the same thing as when they name the Fool gay in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my god, yeah.
That pisses me off, like, more than anything.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
And
capitalize on it. Not capitalize, but you know what I mean. Like,
it's such a long conversation. And the only reason I bring it up is because we have this scene of these two characters who are very much acting like a romantic couple. Mm-hmm. And there is this unique opportunity.
From the depths of your belly to the tips of your toes, you are a good person, Scorpius.
Yes. Oh my, that's actually a really beautiful line.
The tip of your dick.
Let me just get down on my knees.
Oh my god, Danielle is so proud of you.
Hey, I've watched Shameless. Have you ever watched that show?
No.
Oh, it's a great show. But no, like, people are picking up on this because it's there.
Yes.
And that's fine.
That's the kind of content you want if you want to make Dumbledore gay.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's bothersome because if none of this had happened, if J.K. Rowling had said nothing, I mean, this would still matter, but not in the way that she has created.
Yeah.
It's just, it's problematic. We should probably stop and just continue doing this because we're at 48. But anyway, we can talk about it when we get to the end of the play. So let's continue, because believe me, we'll definitely find places to talk about it. There's a lot of more Homo Watch to be seen.
Oh, also, here we go. LOL. They talk about their strategy about going back.
Yeah.
Then they talk about how they want to humiliate Cedric, and that will, like, discourage him so much that he won't win. Scorpius, that's a really good strategy. Albus, I know. Scorpius, I mean, quite spectacular. Humiliate Cedric to save Cedric. Clever. And Rose? Albus, I think I'm saving... Wait, that I'm saving as a sparkly surprise. What?
Yeah, what? What?
That's my note. I can do without you, but I want you there because I want us to do this together. Set things right together. So, will you come with me?
Ooh.
Wink.
Oh, yeah, wink indeed.
COME, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on now, get your minds out of the gutter.
Come? Yeah, so then they decide to go on this journey because, you know, they're very... they go to the bathroom on the first floor.
Yes, that's an important detail.
That's the important detail.
I just love... My note here is I love how their stupid-ass logic tells them to continue this madness instead of just...
stopping it.
Yeah, what the hell?
Because
I'm going to have another one, too.
Yeah, same, cookies galore.
Yes.
Act 2, Season 17, The Hogwarts Staircase. There's a lot of scenes on these staircases.
Indeed there is.
Ron Weasley, the forever man-child. I hate Ron in this goddamn play, and I'm not going to beat it to a stick. He runs into Hermione. They have an awkward exchange. That's my notes on this.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Uncomfortably stupid. It's just so playing up this romantic tension that we're supposed to feel compelled by. Like, oh, will they ever get back together? And it's like, yes, they're going to get back together. Like,
I'm not compelled by this.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I prefer you guys be apart right now.
Right?
Than this scene happening.
It's just... Yeah, I don't have much to say. It's awkward. It's a scene that you kind of see a lot in maybe romantic comedies when you see two people who don't know that they're meant for each other, and they're like they don't realize their love for one another, so they're kind of stumbling over their words. Yeah. I never liked it in romantic comedies, and I don't like it here.
This part made me laugh.
Ooh.
Ron, summoning confidence, said, Harry, Harry's boy, Albus, said to me the other day that he thought you and I were married. Ha 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 ha. Ridiculous, I know. That's the type of conversation that they're having right now.
Oh, yeah.
And Hermione's like, yeah, ridiculous, but, we're just friends, right? Yeah, just friends. What happened?
Yeah.
After
what did
their
happen?
hunt of the Horcrux to now that they don't speak to each other?
Right.
That that Ron's under the impression that Hermione doesn't know Ron's son Albus. Does she not talk to them?
Yeah, and not only that, but like if he did get married to Padma, did he write to her? Like did he miss her? Like that changes time. Like that changes more than just what has been changed.
Yeah.
Like this is why I don't like time travel. This is why. Yeah. I don't like this at all.
I found this funny from Ron. Only friends. Funny word. Friends. Not that funny, just a word, really. Friends. Friend. Funny friend. My funny friend, my Hermione. But, not my Hermione. You understand. Not my Hermione. Not mine. But...
And I love how she's just like, I know.
Like, that little thing made me fall in love with Ron. I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
But it made me fall in love with Ron. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So.
And he's also in his 40s now. So
right.
That's a really awkward conversation for a 40-year-old.
It's just he's a sad man-child, as it says.
Man-child.
And that's not really who we want to see Ron as. And, okay, you could say we're being nostalgic, but, like, come on. He's in his 40s. Mm-hmm. You expect him to grow up a little.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're asking too much. So, right, on to Act 2, Scene 18.
Hogwarts, the headmistress's office. Professor McGonagall, the headmistress we never deserved.
So true.
So, the three of them, Jenny, Harry, and Draco, come bursting into McGonagall's office. Mm-hmm. And she had just come back from the library. Saying mischief managed, and that's why we know she's back.
Yes, indeed.
Which I don't know why she kept it open the whole time from the library to her office, but it's just to show time.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they're like, Harry demands to see his kid because he understands what he's done wrong, and we come in peace, and it's a weird transition scene.
I just wrote I understand why this scene, quote unquote, needed to be here, but I don't think it. I think they could have had a scene combining this and maybe a future scene. Mm-hmm. It's pointless to me. Like, they just said everything we already know is going to happen, that they're going to go to Hogwarts and they're going to try to set things right and find Albus. Mm-hmm. Why do we need, like, couldn't we just see Harry going there and just assume that we know he arrived and he already had this conversation with Ginny, kind of, that he needed to set things right.
Yeah. No,
but I guess
I
as a play,
I think that it was kind of just to, like, get McGonagall back into her bearings.
That's
her
true,
real
yeah.
bearings. And this is what I was talking about, like, she finds her voice but not a confident one. Because she's like, Harry, I've considered this and I decided that I want no part of it. Whatever you threaten, and then she's interrupted by fucking Harry, who calls her by her first name. Then she speaks again. I don't think I can interfere with a friendship, and I believe is interrupted by Harry.
Yeah.
And then down she asks Draco's opinion. All right, let's go. McGonagall says peace. Now that is certainly something I could be a part of. And then they find the kids in the first floor bathroom.
Yes.
And, like, somebody brought up a good point. In the original books, there was a point where Harry uses the Cursio spell.
Yeah.
On one of the siblings.
Yeah, I forget their names.
One of those throwaway characters that I hate.
Alchemy, yeah.
He uses the Cursio curse on him and is like, wow, Bellatrix really did mean you have to mean it. Like, mean the curse. And that's after that sibling spit on McGonagall.
Right, yeah.
So, Bellatrix did not enrage Harry so much that someone disrespecting McGonagall. And then he comes in making these demands.
Right!
And calling her by her first name. Like, no. That is not right.
No.
Like, he will always forever have respect for McGonagall. You know, that is his most prominent mother figure besides Mrs. Weasley.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me that Harry would speak to her this way. And I know I said that before, but I think it's really important to reiterate it.
Yeah.
Because the female characters in this, besides Ginny, are incredibly weak.
Yeah, they're basically put to the mercy of Harry or another male character's bidding. So, yeah. And I think the play wants us to think that Harry is not in his right mind, but, like, I don't think even in his wrong mind Harry would ever dare to, because keep in mind that Harry is an adult now.
Yeah.
And
McGonagall's got to be in her 80s.
Yeah. Like,
at least. Maybe 100 and some.
Yeah. And it's just out of character, and it's just rude. It's just so rude.
It's so rude.
Yeah. Why you gotta be so rude?
All right, so Act 2. Do you have any other notes on 18?
No.
Scene 19, Hogwarts, the girls' bathroom. First floor, more specifically.
First floor.
You know who's on the first floor bathroom?
It is Moaning Myrtle.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Hogwarts Castle and the unsanitary Black Lake.
Oh.
I hate this chapter.
Yes, thank you. It's disgusting.
It's so gross.
It's disgusting.
So
all right.
The boys run down to Moaning Myrtle's and...
And they talk to her.
I'm pointing to you because I want to drink.
Oh.
So go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'll take over. So... they go to the bathroom and they're talking about their plan that they're going to use the engorgement charm. Yeah. They're going to use it to, say, Engorgio to make, I guess, Cedric's air bubble around his head bigger.
His head.
Or make his head bigger. Okay, sorry.
His head bigger.
Which, like, that seems like an interesting way to use Engorgio. Like,
does it work that way?
I don't think so. I don't think
either.
you could do that, but hey.
Because... There's always a joke on the Tumblrs about how, like, can you imagine all of Madame Pomfrey's visits when the boys use that spell on themselves? So I don't think it works that way.
No, I wouldn't think so. But, you know, apparently in the logic of this play, which there is none, that works. And so they're talking about going to the lake, and they're going to they go to the bathroom to talk to Moaning Myrtle, which I guess they assume they can get to the lake through the pipes. That's why they go to her, because she went to the lake. That's another thing. Okay. So I hate that this book treats, like, they say to Myrtle, they're like, oh, Myrtle, like, we know that you were with Harry Potter when he was in the second task. How do they know this information?
Yeah.
Why would Harry talk about this? I don't think he would talk to anybody about anything anyway. I think people would just report on things for what they knew. Mm-hmm. The 7 books of Harry Potter are treated like biographies in this play.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they read the 7 books, and they're like, oh, yeah, of course, Moaning Myrtle was there. How the F do you know that?
Was she in the lake?
She was.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she was in the lake with Harry.
But also, she's a ghost. She can move around however she wishes.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Like, so why does that correlate to the bathroom being connected to the lake?
I guess because she went through the pipes, but actually, you're right. She can move literally any... Whatever. You know what? This play. But yeah, it's just so annoying. And let me see. There was a line I wrote, something about being impressed. Oh.
Impressed?
Yeah, so on page 150, the very first page of this act or scene, Scorpius says, so Albus is like, yes, Scorpius, the soap, if you may. And then he says, Engorgio. And Scorpius replies, nice. Consider me engorge impressed. I'm like, oh God. That is so bad, but it's such beautiful character development. I love Scorpius. I want to just give him a hug.
Such a nerd.
He is.
And he's very 14.
Yes.
He's very 14.
I love that. It's just so great. And I love, this was a huge thing when it happened, but like Myrtle's full name is Myrtle Elizabeth Warren. Did you know that before this play?
No.
Yeah, that was a huge thing when Rowling named her.
Elizabeth Warren.
She's like,
But isn't that someone famous, Elizabeth Warren?
She's, I could be wrong, but she's something to do with politics. She's in Congress, I believe. I don't know if it's Congress or if it's,
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, let's look that up.
Go ahead, speak as I look.
I have to flip my notes. Oh. Come on. You can do it, notes. So they're going to be traveling in time back to engorge Cedric's head.
She is a senator.
A senator. Did you hear what I just said?
You said congressman. I don't know if they're the same.
No. No, they're not the same. But
oh, that's her. Okay.
I knew you'd recognize her. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw her face, she persisted.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
That's who it is. We have this weird ghost hitting on these kids.
Well, that's what she does, apparently, Myrtle. Mm-hmm. Which really...
I feel so bad for the actress that played her.
I know.
She's like, what, late 30s, early 40s?
Yeah.
Playing that role, hitting on a child.
That's uncomfortable.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Which we should keep in mind that in the books there are some things implied, but it's really not a thing in the books.
She saw his penis.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
That was really embarrassing.
That was hilarious.
Thank God that wasn't on film.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable, that scene. But anyway, you know what we're talking about. You know what scene. You've seen the 4th movie. So they go down the pipes.
Yeah, okay. So before we go down the pipes, they talk to Myrtle, and she talks about one specific sink that goes to the Black Lake. This very sink empties into the lake. It breaks every bylaw. But this school has been antiquated. Has always been antiquated, excuse me. Dive in and you'll be piped straight to it, which I have an issue with because first of all, these pipes must be huge.
I know.
Which makes no sense.
I know, yeah.
The Chamber of Secrets makes sense because that was the entrance.
Right.
That's the only reason why that pipe was so large. To have the random sink be large enough to fit 14-year-old children down the pipes into the Black Lake.
Wait a minute. Your pipes don't fit 14-year-old children?
A rat, maybe.
But not for... Oh, we must have really big pipes here at my house. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Do you often get 14-year-old children popping out of your toilet?
You'd be surprised. Just, anyway.
So, yeah, it's so stupid.
It is stupid. It's
so
weird.
Dumb.
Yeah, it's just... I'm going to make that noise
And their excuse is just because the castle's old.
Right! And she's like, well, things, don't always... Like, it says it works this way, but then, we get around it. And I'm like, but do you? Like, because I feel like things work certain ways. Like, I don't know.
And you know that if this was a secret passageway, that George and Fred would know about it.
So true. So true. Come on now. Gret and Forge.
They found more on the Hogwarts ground than that is listed on the Marauders map.
Yeah, very true.
So.
Yeah. Good. That was a good response. I like it.
So they go down into the lake. And
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and they make sure to make Myrtle promise not to tell anyone.
Because that works.
Mm-hmm.
And just as they disappear, the adults arrive.
Ba, ba, ba.
Yeah, and they're like consulting the map. He's disappeared. He's traveling under the grounds of Hogwarts. Or Hogwarts grounds.
They keep flickering.
Come on now. And then Myrtle basically is like toying with them. She's like, such a pretty trinket they had. And they're like, Myrtle, stop being like a ginormous toot. Oh, whoa. Wow, I love that we both went like in such different directions.
Did you say toot?
I was going to say something else, but then I thought I'll be nice.
Bitch.
No, I was going to say fuck.
Don't be such a fuck.
But yeah.
Why would you say toot?
I
don't even know.
This mind.
I love you, Danielle.
I didn't
You're
wanna...
you're such a good person.
I don't like to say... No, it's fine.
You're a very good person.
Oh, thank you.
From the pits of your belly to the tip of your toes.
Whoa. Hold on. No romance here.
Sleeping over.
Yeah. Brittany, don't get any ideas from this book just because Albus and Severus do it. Brittany.
Let's move on to scene 20 because I have nothing else to say to you.
Yeah. All right. So Act 2, scene 20. Is this our last scene? Thank God.
Thank
okay.
God.
Oh, darn it.
Your bookmark.
It's okay. So Act 2, scene 20, the Triwizard Tournament, Lake, 1995.
Mm-hmm.
So they went back in time.
Lord Voldemort, the most uncreative wizard.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's
so
my
annoying.
favorite. That's my favorite one sentence so far. I mean, that was on point.
Oh, it's really on point.
Yeah.
So they come to the lake, and I find this actually pretty funny.
Okay.
Because you'll see this repeated later on, but Ludo Bagman and how he tries to get the crowd pumped, and all the French are just like meh, meh, meh. Which I find hilarious.
So I guess I find it hilarious, but I also hate it so much.
It's supposed to be the comedic relief, though.
Well, but it's so disingenuous to his character. That's why I get annoyed.
To whose character?
To Bagman's. Because what I wrote is basically, it's a thing where he's a very uplifting character, a character who's very excited about things.
Charismatic, yeah.
Yeah, and so you know that we don't know all that was said in the Triwizard Tournament, mostly because Harry wasn't there because he's actually participating.
Yeah.
But it's just very cliche to me that he's like if I was writing something and I had to make somebody excited, this is what I would write. This is just something so easy to me. Oh, Durmstrang, give me a yell. Yeah. And whatever, give me a yell in Hogwarts. It's like, oh, please stop. This is cringe. I'm not saying it's not funny with the French one. Yeah. That is funny. But I just don't, in the context of what's going on, I just don't like it at all.
It's very accurate.
I just don't like it. But I like that it's consistent. I guess they get points for that.
I think it's funny that when he is introducing the characters this time and what they're doing, he goes, Victor's a shark, of course he is. Fleur looks remarkable. Ever plucky Harry is using gillyweed. Clever Harry, very clever. And Cedric, well, Cedric, what a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Cedric is using a bubble charm to cruise through the lake. He doesn't remark on the fact that Fleur is also using a bubble charm.
Right.
He just says that she looks remarkable. Like, that's, again, like, is it because it's a male author? I don't know. The females are taking a back seat again. Like, he's only commenting on the looks of this woman and not on her cleverness of her spells. Because Victor is using transfiguration to turn himself into a shark. Harry's using the gillyweed. And Cedric is using the bubble charm.
Yeah.
He doesn't comment on their looks at all, but Fleur's.
I would say my answer to that, just my interpretation, is that it could be because he's a male author. I think more it's just that he just wrote things down that would fit with them. So he says plucky Harry. Like, what? Like, yeah, it's just, but I agree with you. It is weird that he gave these sentences of what they're doing and how it fits their character, and then just says Fleur looks divine. Because I don't think, unfortunately, Fleur didn't have much of a character, but that's still not a good reason.
I think she had a character.
As it goes on, she's kind of mistreated in the books.
Yeah, I think because she's very proper when it comes to the 5th book?
It's the 6th book that she comes back, yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about this book.
The fourth. That's the 4th, yeah.
So she has this demeanor because she understands that she's representing her school.
Right.
So she's holding herself with high pride.
Right.
And obviously that could come off as, like, prudish, I guess. Maybe like
a little
standoffish.
Yeah, standoffish, I think is the better word, yeah.
But that doesn't excuse the way people are describing her talents, because obviously she is incredibly talented.
Right.
And, like, the fact that her sister is in the lake speaks to her character.
Right.
You know, I just think it's very unfair that even years after the book was published, we have this play that demeans her just to her looks.
Right.
Not demeans, but you know what I mean.
No, I agree with you. And in a way, it is kind of demeaning that he comments on all of them for their talent of what they're doing, and then he doesn't give Fleur the time of day.
Yeah, because, like, Cedric, what a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Cedric is using a bubble charm to cruise through the lake. She's using the same thing.
I honestly, it's just easy writing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, in the book, does she not reveal what she's doing until after Cedric does?
I don't remember. Nobody really reveals anything. That's the thing.
If that were true, it's clever writing, because then it's Fleur being Bubblehead. I can do that. So
yeah, I don't know.
I'll have to look it up.
I mean, it's never really goes in her perspective at all. Like, Harry never. I'm trying to think. He does. I know the movie. In the movie, we definitely hang on.
That's my phone.
Is it? Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Because I was going to say I could hear that buzzing one time on our recording, and I thought, wait, how could that have recorded? But that's why. Okay.
That's my phone. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. But the important thing to remember is, even though this is happening here, and I agree with you 100%, it's important to recognize that in the 4th book, Fleur is definitely put to the side and stereotyped galore and not really given the time of day, just like this book is treating her.
Yeah.
Again, this is a new play. They had every opportunity to heighten her. She is Albus's freaking aunt.
Yeah.
But again, and I think as much as I agree with you, and like maybe it's because it's a male author, I also think that he doesn't give so many characters that are beloved to us and important to the story the time of day in general, that I don't even think the description just feels very like he just wrote it and that was it. Yeah. Like, it's so easy, these descriptions. Like, plucky Harry.
It's
what
weird.
So
Plucky Potter would be better.
Plucky, yeah. Oh, is it actually? I don't know if I was quoting
Plucky
it.
Harry. Plucky Harry using gillyweed.
Yeah, and even then, like, the fact that he's reporting on it, like, just because I'm so obsessed with the details of these books, they're in the lake. You cannot see them. How would he know what they're doing?
Well, they're diving into the lake. They didn't dive yet. I think that's what the point is.
Well, maybe he's seeing Harry then, but Crumb wouldn't be half a shark yet, and Cedric wouldn't have a bubble around his face yet.
They would have to put those on before they go in.
Maybe.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Because they would have to. You can't say your spell underwater. Because they're not advanced enough to do nonverbal spells.
Well, they are. Harry's not, but they are.
No, because remember, it's very advanced work to do
They learn in 6th year nonverbal spells.
But I don't think that... But nonverbal spells, yes, but they're not using fucking transfiguration.
Well, who knows what Crumb learns? I agree.
True.
I do agree with you.
I think that's a stretch to do nonverbal spells underwater in stressed situations.
Well, I shouldn't even say... actually... Oh, it is transfiguration, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused with Animagus. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I think they would have to do it above water.
Yeah. I just don't like his commentary, that's all.
Yeah.
I hate it. I just think it's so awful, and trying to live up to this character, like trying to add this additional content, that is just so easy to write and so uncomfortable. I just don't like it at all.
So the kids cast a spell on Cedric. Cedric floats through the water. Like,
and up into the air.
Up into the air, I guess because his head's growing and therefore the bubble's growing.
And I guess the law of physics
don't abide. Yeah. But they also feel the need to shoot off fireworks saying Ron loves Hermione.
Oh, that's right.
Will never have any consequences whatsoever.
Right. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
But they really want to push home the point that they want these two to get together.
Yeah. And they have gillyweed.
Yes, they have gillyweed, which is weird.
Well, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I was just going to continue. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say that the gillyweed, like, on page 158, like, that's when Scorpius is, like, coming out of the water, and he's in this new timeline, and Albus isn't there.
Yes.
Gillyweed lasts for an hour. How is he out of the water now? Because the way time has been portrayed
5
here.
5 minutes.
Right. It's just weird that, like, they're there for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Gillyweed lasts for an hour. So, I guess maybe they ate a little tidbit of it.
Maybe they were just floating in the water until Cedric came along. But then the mer people would probably interfere.
Yeah. Look.
I don't know.
It's fine. The play doesn't want you to think.
They also make Polyjuice Potion in 2 days.
Don't think about it, folks.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Was there anything you wanted to say before we get into the alternate timeline?
Nope.
Okay, so we're in this new timeline where Harry's dream has come to life.
Well, hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Scorpius pops up in the water, and Albus isn't there.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
right.
Albus is gone. Mm-hmm. And he...
That was me, sorry.
Oh, I thought it was me. I was going to apologize.
I'll mute my phone. Go ahead.
Albus. And then he hears Parseltongue, and he understands it, which is weird. And
right, yeah.
Dolores Umbridge comes out. Oh, where's Harry's dream? What are you talking about?
So I just wrote like that Harry's dream comes to life because at the end, and the Parseltongue whispers grew louder and louder, grow monstrously loud, and in Harry's dreams he heard Voldemort's whispering as if Voldemort was returning. That's what I wrote down.
Oh, that's the very last page.
Yeah, sorry, I should have said the page.
So, Scorpius pops up and meets Dolores Umbridge, who is the headmistress now. And you find out that Harry died, in the original Battle of Hogwarts.
Yes.
And then you see the Dementors flying everywhere, and suddenly from around the auditorium, you feel the breath of wind. Some black robes arise around people, which is cool to imagine, like some people being in the audience the entire time,
right? Yeah,
and then donning their robes. The black shapes that become Dementors. They're flying around, and we find out that it is now Voldemort Day.
So, okay. This is what I asked when I went into reading this play. True story. What would the world look like if Harry died and Voldemort took over, please give me the most cliche answer you can. Thank
Voldemort
you.
Day.
I mean, I remember when I first read that, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Voldemort Day?
It's so lame.
It is lame.
It's so uncreative. Like, you have Voldemort, who took his name, Thomas Malovo.
Oh, Tom I think it's just Tom. Tom Marvolo.
Yeah.
Marvolo
Riddle. He took that and was able to create I am Lord Voldemort, and they named the day after him just Voldemort Day. Could it be the day of reckoning, the day of Muggle superiority or something? I don't know.
You think this is bad. When we get to Act 3, it gets even worse. And I'm excited.
And I hate Umbridge. Umbridge is the most... Umbridge and Bellatrix are the two characters that I despise the most.
Yeah.
And Umbridge is here.
So convenient that Umbridge is here.
Oh, of course.
So convenient. I know for the story we should see characters that we recognize, but so convenient that Umbridge is the one doing this, and there's no other character who possibly came up in this timeline that could do this. Yeah. Nope, it's Umbridge. But that's how these work.
Which I have an issue later on as well. Not with Umbridge, but with the fireworks. I'll bring it up.
Okay,
later,
cool.
Next episode.
Yes.
But it's very frustrating and annoying. And, if this wasn't based on Harry Potter, I would really enjoy this play. But because it's Harry Potter, I like it. However, if it were another play, they would have to include all of these dynamics that we already know from Harry Potter. So that's hard.
Right. Well, that's why, that's another reason why I probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just lame.
It's lame. That's a good description.
Thank you. Yeah. I worked really hard on it.
Good job. Yeah. It's like I spent all day working on that. It's true.
Sorry, I'm dancing because I have to pee.
Oh, right. Well, let's finish this up. Oh, well, first, before we finish.
Yeah.
Hey, folks. Do you like Harry Potter? Do you want to listen to Harry Potter on audiobook?
You know you do.
Oh, well, have we got a surprise for you?
What is it, Danielle?
Well, this episode, just cracked my neck. This episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Mm-hmm. Audible is the leading provider of audiobooks on the interwebs. And today, fine listeners, you can get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice. Ooh. All you have to do is go to www.audibletrial.com/BABAT. There, you can get your free trial, 30 days, and you can get your free audiobook for free once again. So that is audibletrial.com/BABAT. And get on it, folks.
And if you don't feel like typing it all out, you know what you can do?
What can we do, Brittany?
You can go to our show notes.
Correct.
And or our website, which is BaBaTpodcast.com. And on our website, you can find links to all of our social media pages.
Whoa!
Which include Facebook. We have a page and a group. We have Instagram. We have Goodreads. We have Twitter. We have Tumblr. We have a Gmail, so you can write us a letter and be like, hey, how's it going? We have a voicemail thing, which is pretty neat and cool.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
We have everything that your little hearts can desire. And you can find us.
Oh.
Throwing it to you. Where can you find us, Danielle?
Oh, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, any podcatching device, Podcast Addict. Mm-hmm. The choice is up to you. We're available. Or again, you can listen right on our website. Again, that's BaBaTpodcast.com. Mm-hmm. And, art and music credit.
Yes, Katie Hartong.
She did our artwork, and it's pretty fan-flippantastic.
She's my big in my fraternity. Hi, Katie.
We have a link for her in the show notes, so be sure to check out her website. Mm-hmm. And thank you to Kevin MacLeod. Apologize if I am pronouncing your name wrong, for our theme music at the beginning of the show.
I love our theme music.
So do I.
It's very magical.
It is magical.
That's actually Harry Potter, sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, oh, that's real. That's beautiful.
Okay, I'm saying goodbye because I have to pee. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Bye.